Welcome everybody to our live training today. I am going to share, I'm going to attempt to share this in my group, so bear with me. You might lose me for a few seconds, but I am still here. Let's see. Share. Hopefully it works. Share now. Perfect. Awesome. There we go. Cool. Okay. So welcome to today's training. I am live on YouTube because Facebook has been kind of strange lately, and I keep getting either blocked from my own group or completely just shut out of the group, and it's really strange that my videos keep getting cut, and it's very annoying, and I do not want to waste anyone's time. So I decided to do this week's training on YouTube, and I will post the link if you missed it in our private Facebook group, so you can catch up when you get the chance. So for those of you that are brand new to my site, welcome. I am Christina Rizakos, founder of ProfitableDaycare.com. I am an early childhood educator by trade with over 21 years experience. I'm a mom of 4, including twins, and I also own my own daycare center. It's been open since 2004. I started it with my sister as a business partner, and we have been doing it ever since. Absolutely love it. I would not imagine myself doing anything else but business and childcare. And about, I think a few months ago, I started ProfitableDaycare.com to help brand new business owners operate successful daycares, or aspiring daycare business owners to help them set up systems and policy booklets and all that fun stuff that we need to have in order to have a successful daycare center, right? So today's training is all about a very simple 5-step interview process that you can use in your center when it's time to hire. So hiring staff is always exciting, always fun. It's a little nerve-wracking, especially if you have never ever hired anyone. Like if you've never taken on the role of a boss or an owner, and it's time to hire help. It could be kind of nerve-wracking because you don't know what to do, you don't know what to say. Sometimes you don't feel like others will take you seriously. So it's all good, it's all normal. Whatever you're feeling right now is 100% normal. I went through this back in 2004 when we started growing our business and getting more registrations in and hiring staff, right, to add to our daycare family. So I've learned a lot along the way. I've learned what kind of things to ask, what types of things to not ask. I've learned how to be prepared as the interviewer. I've learned the red lights to look for, those little alerts that kind of give you a weird feeling that, tells you, maybe they're not a good fit, or maybe they're not for our center. So I think that setting up systems and policies is a must when you're running a daycare center, or any kind of business for that matter. And I also think you need to be prepared with a very simple process when you are interviewing. So before I go any further, there is a complete PDF freebie booklet that I have created. It's over on my website, ProfitableDaycare.com/hire staff. And all you need to do is enter your email, and you will receive oh my God, I didn't check if this is on. And you will receive can you guys hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. And you will receive a free booklet that I created all about how to properly set up systems and what kind of questions to ask, especially when you are hiring. Sorry guys, I'm trying a brand new mic. I hope that the first part of this video was successful, because I don't think my mic was on. But anyways, so 5-step process. You need to have a process when you're interviewing. You cannot just wing it. There are a lot of things to consider, a lot of things to have in front of you as you're interviewing someone. And I wanted to walk you through my very basic 5-step hiring process when I am looking to grow my business family. So, step number 1, do not waste your time or anyone else's time by interviewing candidates that you know are not a good fit for your center. So, if you are looking for an educator for the toddler group, and you have credentials that you need to, you need to find someone that has their credentials, they have first aid certification, maybe you need someone that is experienced working with toddlers, someone that's available between this time and this time. Do not waste your time or the candidate's time by bringing in people to interview that do not fit your criteria, that don't meet the requirements. And I'll give you an example. When I started interviewing for my business, one thing that I always neglected to write in the description is the schedule. Every classroom has their own schedule. And let's say I was interviewing for the pre-Ks, I know whoever takes that shift is going to be closing the center every single day. So at the beginning, when I was brand new to all this, when I was interviewing someone, I always omitted the fact to tell them in the description that whoever gets the job needs to be available to close the center every single day at 6 p.m., no matter what. And then I had interviews come in, and people, as soon as everything worked out great, but as soon as they asked about the schedule, I said, it's until 6. And that was a no-no because they had to pick up their kids at 3 p.m. because, they didn't have a car after 5 or whatever the reason was. And I found myself really frustrated and annoyed and thought, I should have mentioned this right from the beginning. Other things that you should not omit in your description when you're doing your marketing, when you're searching for someone, is certification. So if you need someone that has their certification, depending on your state, depending on your province, maybe you need 3 out of your 4 staff to have their diplomas, whatever the case is for your area where you're from, make sure that everything is detailed in your description. And once you receive the description in front of you, once you receive, the resumes and, the candidates are presenting themselves, do not call back people that don't meet these requirements. So don't call back anyone that doesn't have their diploma. Don't call back anyone that doesn't have the hours of experience that you're asking for. Don't call back anyone that doesn't like changing diapers when you're hiring someone for the toddler group. Don't do it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste their time. So that's the number one thing that you can really get rid of a lot of candidates that don't really fit your team culture, is by screening through all the candidates that you are receiving through email or fax or whatever your process is, and make sure you weed out the ones that don't fit your description. Step number 2, take control of the interviewing schedule and plan according to you and your schedule and your needs and your mood. So this is a big one. I personally interview candidates 2 times in the week, and it's usually earlier during the week when I have more energy. So maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and it's always in the morning. I've never, ever planned a meeting, an interview with a potential employee at lunchtime or at 5 p.m. It's never happened because, number one, my schedule doesn't permit it. I want to be home in the afternoons, when the bus comes home with my kids, and I want to be able to cook supper and just do all my stuff at home. So that's number 1. Number 2, my energy is not there. I don't have the energy. I'm not present. My energy is not high enough to interview anyone after 5 p.m. or after 3 p.m. My mind is not there. I'm easily distracted. So you need to know yourself, and you need to know your energy level. Are you someone that thrives at 2 p.m. or are you someone that is in an amazing, good mood, high energy only in the mornings? Know yourself, know how you function, and plan accordingly, right? You're the one that's in control. You're the one that is hiring. So you should have the times that you want to interview someone and the dates. And you should be the one that's presenting this to your employees, obviously giving them choices, right? But you should never, ever, let's say, plan an interview when there's a fire drill or a special activity, or when it's a holiday, or there's things happening at the daycare when your attention is not going to be in the interview with your candidate, right? So that's very important. Step number 3, when you are preparing for an interview, make sure that you have either on hand or somewhere emailed to you, printed out, and it's right in front of you, whether it's on the screen or in on-paper format, everything you need to have a successful interview. Like, everything is right in front of you. So what that means is, when you are interviewing someone, make sure that you ask them for copies, that they scan a copy of their diploma, of their year's experience, of reference letters, of, if you're hiring for a educator position, I usually want to see what kind of programs this candidate is planning, right? Like, I want to get an idea of where their planning skills are, what their abilities are, if their educational philosophy fits my center's philosophy, right? So I always ask for a few programs that they've recently done. And I'm not talking about, Pinterest copy and paste stuff. I'm talking about like authentic, real work that they have done. I want to see copies of it. If they have the first aid certificate, if they have their background checks, if they have done special workshops or anything that adds to their skills, I want to know about it. So if possible, when you are reaching out and you're setting your times for your interview, mention that you would like to see all of these things that I just mentioned by email, or they could scan it to you, just so you could have it on hand to kind of study and get a feel for the person before they come in for the interview. Very important. I think it prepares you much more for your interview, and everything goes much smoother if you have that at hand. Coffee. Okay. So that's step number 3. Make sure you have all the paperwork that is necessary in front of you, either on paper format or on your screen. Step number 4, have questions ready to ask someone. Don't rely on your memory. Don't play the staring game. Don't waste anyone's time with pauses of none of that, right? Be prepared. You are a professional, you're a business owner, and you need to be prepared with a sheet of questions depending on the position you are hiring for. Obviously, questions will differ depending on the position, but you should have something prepared in writing that you can just print out with paper, with a pen, and just write notes down as the person is answering your questions. Sometimes, especially when you're brand new to this, you forget to ask things. You forget to ask things like interventions or what their beliefs are when it comes to certain things. So when everything is written down, you won't forget it, right? So write things down. And step number 5, after your interview is finished and it's completed and you've had a meaningful conversation with your candidate, always leave the interview with a time limit, meaning leave things off where the candidate knows what to expect and when to expect it. Meaning, if you're still, interviewing for the next week, tell them. If you are planning on making a decision within 48 hours, tell them. People need to know if they have the job, if they don't have the job, so they could just continue on with their lives and carry on with their job search or whatever they're doing, right? So don't leave things open. People will wonder. It's going to leave kind of like a sour taste in their mouth. They won't take you seriously. It's going to make you look bad as a business owner, and you don't want that. So when someone finishes an interview, you thank them for their time. You keep copies of everything that they brought in their file, and then you tell them that you will hear from us within a certain amount of time. So whether that's a week, whether that's 48 hours, whether that's a day, whatever the time is for you, mention it to them. And don't be these types of business owners that don't call back even the candidates that didn't get the job. Meaning, whether it's a yes or a no, I like to either send an email thanking them once again and wrapping things up and, just confirming whether yes, they have the job or no, they don't. Or whether they have the job. Obviously, you need to give people closure. They need to know where they stand. They need to know, the conclusion, the result. Was it a yay or was it a nay? So, and another thing I want to mention, that when I didn't call back, let's say I had 5 interviews and 3 candidates. I really loved 3 of the candidates and I didn't know who to choose. But for some reason, we went with candidate A, let's say. And candidate A, after we did our, she was hired and she was in her classroom. Things just didn't work for some reason, because it happens, right? Like, it doesn't mean only because you like someone during an interview that you're stuck with them for life, right? Things happen and this person no longer fit. So if you've already called back, candidates B or C that you really liked also, and you left things off in a good way, right? Like, they know that they did a great job and you appreciated their time, but you went with another candidate, but you will keep their CV, let's say, in the office if anything happens, right? So that door is still open. So if you want to reach out and say, hi, this is Christina from 5-Star Daycare. I remember you came for an interview a few weeks ago, and I really, I enjoyed our interview together. I think you would be a great fit. Candidate A didn't work out because of A, B, or C. Would you be open to come in once again and try out in the toddler group, let's say? And let them decide. I mean, you already liked them. They were qualified. They fit your tribe. You just didn't offer them the job because someone else had a little bit more to offer than them, which is fine, right? It's fine. But if you never called them back and they never heard from you, and then all of a sudden a month later you show up and, hey, you want the job now? What do you think they're going to say? They're going to say no, right? So don't do that. Give people time, like a limit to know exactly what's going to happen next. Don't leave things up in the air. Don't let them guessing. The last thing you want is for people to be showing up or calling you all the time and asking you, did I get the job? What do you think? Why not me? Blah, blah, blah. So make sure you take control and you offer people closure. And whether that was a yes or that was a no, or that was a, you're a second candidate, maybe in the future, we'll call you back if things don't work out, right? So in daycare centers, especially, one of the things that a lot of people complain about is staff, where to find good staff. Staff quits, staff doesn't come back from their lunch break, they just disappear, they vanish. It takes a lot out of a human being to work with children. And I also believe it takes a special human being to work with children and to work well with kids, right? Because we could find staff. I could place an ad and just find anybody to come work on my daycare, but you wouldn't do that, right? So it's very important that when you find the people that fit your tribe and that get your philosophy and that you picture working in your center, that you hold on to them. So whether that's offering them the job or offering them a not now, but I will hold on to the CV because I really liked you, just do it. Just do it. I think the biggest asset for any daycare is its staff, especially the educators that work in it. So you cannot go wrong by offering people, a conclusion, an answer, and so just so that they could leave your center feeling like, okay, I really like the educator, I really like the director, the educators looked great. They called me back. They said not now because they found somebody else, but maybe. So chances are that if you do need to call them, in the future, that they will be more open to say yes, right? So always a good thing. So if you are stuck during an interview and you don't know what to ask, like you have no idea, right? You keep asking the same questions over and over. I have actually created a free cheat sheet that you can actually download, print out, and use as your own. I will post the links below. All you need to do is go to profitabledaycare.com/interview questions. I will post the link below, and then you just enter your email, and you can download it and use it, or share it with another daycare owner if someone is struggling with staff and they don't know exactly how to go about interviewing brand new people for their center. So that was the training for this morning. I apologize for not hopping on yesterday, but like you guys know, I'm sure summers when your kids are at home they're crazy. There's no other way to put it. They're just crazy. 4 kids at home, in the pool, running around. And when, I want to sit and do a live, someone's always in the background doing something, and just whatever. It's mom life. You guys know, what it's like. So anyways, I really wanted to get this training out there. I will post the links below so you guys can go check out the freebies, download them, use them, and let me know how how you use them in your center. Like, did you actually try them out? Did you try the questions out? Let me know what your interview process is like. Do you get nervous? Do you get stressed out? Do you feel weird interviewing people? Let me know. I'd love to hear. So that's it, guys. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, and of course, follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. Have an awesome day. Bye.